And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back to Fanboy Fridays. Fanboys, we hope your day is truly going terrible. So 50,000 points has everyone talking again. Has everyone talking the same nonsense again about this non-existent manufactured GOAT debate. However, like I said several times, this year LeBron pretty much threw on the straw that broke the camel's back. More like threw on a cinder block that broke the camel's back, because this year was too much. So I feel like we have a lot more people coming out speaking the truth, a lot more notable people, which is important. And the latest being Mase from the Cam and Mase podcast. I believe it's called It Is What It Is. And I was a fan of Mase back in the day when he was still rapping. But I must say I'm even more of a fan of Mase with his latest take on LeBron James and the GOAT debate. And Mase was very unfiltered. So without further ado, people buckle up. This is going to be a long video, but I think it's necessary for anyone who may be new discovering the channel and may be wondering why LeBron James gets so much criticism, maybe wondering why people just don't accept LeBron James as the GOAT, maybe wondering why a lot of people say he's not top 5, top 10, and you can really make a case for, you know, top 15, top 20. This video will be a good example why. So stay tuned, buckle up, and without further ado, let's get into this.
Like, I feel as somebody who grew up in the early 90s, I can't let anyone take Jordan off that pinnacle, off that peak for me. But maybe that's just me being stubborn as an 80s baby.
No, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to even let you lay the groundwork for that. No. LeBron is great at the longevities he's having. Let's just put apples where apples go, and let's put oranges where oranges go. It wouldn't matter if he gets 70,000 points, right? We're not weighing them against points. We're weighing them against the dominance. If I play much longer, I'm gonna get much more points. We're not going by points. If we were going by points, then that means Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been the GOAT until LeBron passed him. That's not what we're equating this to. I think people keep missing the argument because they keep trying to slide in new information. New information doesn't change what it is that we're basing this upon. It could change the numbers, it could change the status of yourself, but it doesn't change. We're talking about the chips. We're talking about the dominance. We're talking about when it's asked for, you deliver. It doesn't matter if you get 60,000 points. If at the end of this, you go out the second round. you understanding what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we've been saying on this channel. Fanboys, this is what we've been saying. LeBron James could play another 20 years and get 100,000 points. Especially with the way that they keep making this league easier and easier if they keep going this direction. LeBron James could play another 20 years, score 50,000 points. He still wouldn't be the GOAT in the eyes of most people. We do not judge GOATness by the standards of longevity. Like Mase said, we're talking about the dominance. We're talking about how dominant you were when you were at your best. And LeBron James has not been dominant. Despite the narratives they try to push out there, LeBron James has not been dominant when you compare him to the other stars of his league, and even who came in after him, like Steph Curry has just as many championships. LeBron James has never had a concentrated period of winning. If we're talking about Michael Jordan's career, it would be like the venom from a cobra. Lethal. It's concentrated. It's a concentrated period of dominance. Michael Jordan dominated the 90s to the point that every full season Michael Jordan played in the 90s, no one else could win. He stopped so many people from getting championships. Michael Jordan's career is a career of dominance. It's like that, the venom from a cobra is potent. Whereas LeBron James' career would be like if you took that same venom and dumped it in 1,000 gallons of water. It is not the same effect. LeBron James' career is watered down. And this is really sad that it's come to what LeBron James is really trying to do is actually play long enough to convince people he's the GOAT. When for people who appreciate sports for what it is, what it's supposed to be in terms of competing, for people who appreciate sports for that aspect, LeBron James could never, ever be the GOAT. Like May said, he could score 70,000 points. We're not talking about that. You know, he said, let's put the apples where the apples go and the oranges where the oranges go. Michael Jordan is in the apples category along with other superstars like Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and really every other competitor except LeBron James, who has made his own category with this longevity thing, with his watered down career, and he belongs where the oranges belongs, in his own place. But anyway, let's continue.
Because a girl got a better BBL doesn't make her like, come on now.
Doesn't make you.
Yeah, you're 50 years old and can still wear Daisy Dukes. That don't make you the finest girl ever lived. That just means you look good for your age. Looking good for your age doesn't make you the GOAT. And that's what people are doing. They're talking about you looking good for your age. And if you look good for your age, that means you've been looking good for a long time. That still don't make you the baddest ever.
Exactly. And this is another thing. They keep praising LeBron James for 40 years old. At this age, we've never seen this before. And aside from the fact that LeBron James stopped playing defense a long time ago, aside from the alleged stuff that LeBron James refuses to address, even though he can address everything else, you know, aside from the flopping and the low managing and, you know, the stacking the deck, aside from those things, you know, even if you want to give him credit for what he's doing now, the fact is he's good for his age, but that has nothing to do with who was the best when they were at their best. That has nothing to do with that. It's like, oh yeah, okay, well, he's good for his age. That's wonderful. But when you're comparing him to Michael Jordan, LeBron James has never been that. When you're comparing him to Kobe Bryant, LeBron James has never been that. He's not built like that. When you're comparing him to Larry Bird, LeBron James has never been that. When you're comparing him to Magic Johnson, Kareem, LeBron James has never been that. And, you know, again, LeBron James, he's the face of this new entitled generation. This is what he is. He is the face of the new generation that prefers shortcuts. He is the face of the new generation that, doesn't really understand about sticking things out and building something. But anyway, let's continue.
Best for longevity, baddest for that time. And then for women, I think of like Kim Kardashian, right? She's looked good for the longevity of her career, which also in comparison, I'm not saying like Kim Kardashian is the looks of like LeBron in basketball, but like kind of, because that's the same kind of concept.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because the way Kim Kardashian came about her success, for me, I don't value that because of the way she came about it. To other people that have different morals and different principles, they may look at that and like, so what? She's a billionaire. I don't count money that you get the wrong way. I don't count that. You know what I'm saying? There's some people like, oh, I won 100 games. But you won 100 games on steroids. I feel the same way about rap. If it comes out that these rappers did these things to be at that level, and I'm like, no, bro, I was doing that without doing that. Yeah. So I don't hold a success on the same level. At that point, even if you were looked at as the GOAT, we're taking that GOAT status down because you got there the wrong way. You didn't get there honestly. You got there, now all this stuff comes out. You got there these ways? Nah, I don't respect that. You're nobody. You're actually lower than the people who we thought was under us.
What a perfect comparison to bring up Kim Kardashian. What a perfect comparison to bring up Kim Kardashian to compare to LeBron James. Everything about Kim Kardashian is fake and manufactured. All of her success, including her body. And what a great comparison when we're comparing her to the Duck, whose career was manufactured, including his body. This is what we're talking about. Fanboys, this is what we have been trying to get through to you guys. But again, you are just that type of person, which is why you don't understand it. It is the how. It is the how of the LeBron James career that is the problem. When you talk about how he attained the things that he attained, this is where you're going to have a problem with fans who respect the competitiveness, with fans who respect players who stick it out, with fans who respect players who want to overcome the situation or had to overcome the situation because they didn't have the benefit of player entitlement to allow them to just go join whatever team they wanted to go. This is where you're always going to run into a problem. And this is why I say, you guys bringing up stats to us, it doesn't mean a thing. Because at this point, we're not talking about stats. Yeah, if you want to talk about two other players and you want to compare some stats and accolades, that's wonderful. But when it comes to LeBron James and certain other players, we are not talking about stats. And it's no point in even discussing stats because we don't respect how you got what you got. How you got it was not legitimate. How you got it was not up to the standard of previous generations. And this is what we're talking about. LeBron James being compared to Kim Kardashian is the perfect comparison. Like I said, because Kim Kardashian's career and body was manufactured, and so was the Deers. Let's continue.
That's a really good point, and I kind of want to get your perspective on LeBron more then. So in that analogy, do you think that there's something besides the amount of rings that is bringing LeBron down in terms of the dominance? Like, do you
Yeah,
think
let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. It's not just the rings are one. Of course, it's the championships, and there's people who won more championships than Jordan. So it's not just the rings. But it's showing up when it counts. Isn't that what makes you great? That you show up when it counts. That's why people love God, because he comes through. He's faithful. He's faithful. Is no excuse for not delivering. That's what I'm more so talking about. It's not the 50,000 points. I said it myself. If LeBron wins a championship with his son, then I could start having that conversation. Until then, I can't have that conversation until you come through, pause, when we really need you to, without excuse. Him joining other people to get those rings, that definitely plays into his legacy. That would be no different than if you find out that I was buying all my sales. That plays into how we look at you, right? We can't throw that away. We can't highlight the things that you do good and turn a blind eye on the things that weren't correct. Is that correct? Or we just, because that's what I'm talking about.
Facts. And this is why we say anyone who is a fan of LeBron, it can only be because you are turning a blind eye to the things that he's done. Now, first of all, let me start by saying this. One thing Mase said, I wholeheartedly disagree with. He said if LeBron won a championship with Bronny, he would be willing to have a conversation. No, that would be worthless and manufactured as well. But the other thing that he was saying is 100% right on the money. And that is, it is about you being there when the team needs you, being there when the fans need you, being the kind of player who actually never gives up, not just gets on the microphone to tell everyone that he never gives up, when we all have seen you give up. We all have seen you in several series give up, not to mention 2011, but you against Boston. 2018, the J.R. Reed blunder, and many other times when you're losing and just walk off the court. You know, LeBron James, like I said, he knows the right things to say. You know, he wants to think he's a never say die player. You know, he gets on the microphone and talks about, oh, well, you know, you have to cut my head off and bury me 10 feet deep before I ever quit. Or likes to say stuff like, the day I can't give my all to the game is the day I'll retire. And saying things like that, yeah, they sound good, LeBron James, but Michael Jordan didn't have to say them because we saw it. We saw it. We saw Michael Jordan never give it. Like I said, I really don't even know if he knows how to do that. But LeBron James, this is something that is associated with your name. This is something that is associated with your legacy. That's quitting. Like, it doesn't matter where you go or who you talk to. Like I said, I've talked to several people who live or who were from Cleveland, and they have a love-hate relationship with LeBron James. But yeah, being a champion is about knowing that the team can count on you, knowing that the coaches can count on you, knowing that the fans can count on you, knowing that you can count on yourself. But we all know that is wishful thinking when it comes to LeBron James. Let's continue.
You joining teams, you're moving stuff around so you can, it's like me going in a park and there's 2 7-footers and all the other kids are 5'10", and I picked the 2 7-footers and I'm playing against all of the kids 5'10", but you want me to believe that you did something? No, you were playing with, you stacked your team. You stacked your team.
And then the question that I have though about the longevity, the female analogy, the women analogy, do you think if you're the baddest girl in your senior year in high school through like sophomore year in college, and then you fall off, like rim check Jordan Wizards, and you have a short but high peak, but then you have somebody who's like maybe slightly not as hot, but is hot like Halle Berry into her 50s. You don't you don't weigh those things at all. It's just like whatever your peak is, even though you might have fallen off of a cliff in your early 20s.
No, I do see that point, but Jordan didn't have that. That's why I'm trying to say that. That will be very much true. I'm a realist, I'm going to weigh both sides. Like if LeBron comes and he gets, let's say 5 championships and he didn't run to Miami to get it, he would definitely be in that. He would definitely be right there with Jordan, right there where you can even say, okay, some people could put him over him, and I wouldn't be mad at that. But the things that certain players have done to get their rings, that's different. That's different for my mindset. And I'm not the end all say all to anything, but I'm just here to voice that opinion, because when you do certain things like that, I can't deem it as the same. Are you a great basketball player? Yes. Do you have the most points? Yes. Have you been the best for the longest? Yes. But that don't make you the best.
So I want to talk about something that I think, a couple of things that get highly overblown. And that is the thing that people basically saying that Michael Jordan fell off so hard in his Wizards years. We even hear Stephen A, the so-called truth teller, according to himself, but we all know that is not the case, because he caps for LeBron on the daily. But we even hear Stephen A say, oh, well, we're not going to talk about the Wizards years, blah, 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 blah. But here's something to think about. If Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron James, if the height of Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron James, meaning in Michael Jordan's career, he wouldn't be 6-0 in the finals. If Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron in the 90s, maybe he'd get a championship. But but just keeping it basic, if Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron James, he would be getting praise for his Wizards years. Think about that. If Michael Jordan was actually only as good as LeBron James, he would be getting praised for his Wizards years, for being able to retire, come back at 38 years old, play till he's 40, average 20 on a hurt leg, play all 82 games. Michael Jordan would be getting praise. But the reason people look at it as a so-called failure is because Michael Jordan took us to heights that had never been seen before. This is why people look at Michael Jordan's Wizards years as a so-called failure, because Michael Jordan was that great. Michael Jordan set the expectations of near perfection. When Michael Jordan came back as a Wizard, he was coming back after a run of being invincible. Think about that. When Michael Jordan returned to the Wizards, he was coming back after a decade of being invincible. So this is why they see it as people see the Wizards years as lesser than. But if Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron James, people would be praising him for his Wizards years. The other thing I want to address is this assumption that LeBron James has been nearly as good as Michael Jordan, except for a lot longer. The girl was insinuating that, who was asking the question. And I've also heard Jimmy High Roller make this same claim that, LeBron's flame burned 90% or 95% as bright as Michael Jordan's, but it burned a lot longer. No, LeBron James' flame was about 55% of Michael Jordan's. And 55% of Michael Jordan, if anyone could play 55% of Michael Jordan, you would be a great player in the NBA. You would be a great player in the NBA. But LeBron James has never been nowhere near the height of Michael Jordan. Never. Not at his best. Not even in his Miami years. LeBron James has been nowhere near the height of Michael Jordan. So this is another couple of things that gets tossed around, and I think, that people don't really put into perspective like that. That Jordan's Wizards years, if Michael Jordan was only as good as LeBron James, his Wizards years would be praised. But he set the standard so high that, again, he set the standard near perfection. But anyway, let's continue.
Because when we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. So we got to keep all of that on the same scale. The guy I'm talking about, when his dad died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never gave us an excuse for not delivering. That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.
Wow. Round of applause for Mase, ladies and gentlemen. That last statement, this last part that he said, well, if you listen to this video, you heard part of it is in my new intro. But this last part that Mase said right here was everything. This is everything we've been talking about on this channel. This is everything that I have said when I say I believe the thing that people gravitated to Michael Jordan most for is that Michael Jordan truly had a never say die attitude. Michael Jordan truly was no quitter. Michael Jordan truly was going to face whatever obstacle that came in front of him. Like Mase said, when his father died, he came back in '96 and delivered a championship with the flu game. When he was facing all the gambling allegations and scandals, it's like Michael Jordan is the definition of you would have to carry him off the court for him to quit. And LeBron James, on the other hand, is not that. Matter of fact, people, let me play that clip just one more time.
Because when we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. So we got to keep all of that on the same scale. The guy I'm talking about, when his dad died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never gave us an excuse for not delivering. That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.
Okay. Yeah. He said, when we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. He said, the guy I'm talking about, when his father died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. And that's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBron. Round of applause for Mase, people. That statement right there is, it doesn't get any realer than that, people. It doesn't get any realer than that. When we needed you to be the fanboys, listen to this. When we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. The guy we're talking about, when his father died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never had an excuse to not deliver. And that's why we still wear Jordans and not LeBrons. Well put, Mase. Mase, well put. This is what we have been talking about on this channel since the beginning. This is what it's all about, people. Fanboys, this is what we've been trying to get you to understand. You're dealing, and this is why I say it was never in LeBron James' character to be the GOAT. LeBron James does not have the character of a GOAT. This is why we talk about mindset and mentality on this channel. This is why I wanted to take the angle of, let's not talk about stats. Let's talk about the reason behind the greatness. Let's talk about the reason behind the success. Because it starts with the mindset. And this is how you know LeBron James, everything about it is manufactured. Because LeBron James simply does not have the mindset. People talk about not having a killer will. Forget that part. He simply just does not have the mindset or mentality to even be compared to a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. We're talking about the two players. Mark Jackson said on the Club Shay Shay podcast, he said 2 players that I am convinced would give their last breath on the court are Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Would give their last breath. He said, and when I say leave it all on the court, he said, I mean it all. I mean, if they had to die to win. He said, I believe that. And we believe that. This is the difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I mean, not Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. This is the difference between Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. LeBron James' character is just not that. He's not built like that. He could have never been the GOAT. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about what Mase had to say about this fake GOAT debate? What do you think about what Mase had to say about the longevity? What do you think about the comparison between LeBron James and the Kardashians? Let me know what you think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day. I'll see you next time, and I'm gonna leave you with this.
That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.